Oh, okay, great.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I will call to order the September 4th Water, Sewer, and Engineering Committee meeting. I'll take a quick attendance. We have Matt Yo, Dan Bulkey, Deb Harris, Sarah Parks, Cameron Sepul, Aaron Cassidy Dorian, some members of the community, and myself. We will start with a motion to approve the August 7th meeting minutes. Motion, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. The August minutes are approved. We can start with a brief public comment period. If anybody would like to speak, I would remind everyone that we follow the same public conduct we follow at town board meetings. That's respectful, professional, good comment free. What it is.
That's why we have the briefest comment. Is this a final or is it a preliminary?
Should be final.
Okay.
I made one small change.
Okay. All right. I mean, and the Raftellus is done with everything? No, that's what I meant.
This is sort of all the background information,
Okay,
and then
okay.
based on what and talked to today, we'll be doing some more analysis
Okay.
that we can share.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Okay.
For me, I didn't realize that I was going to be getting this, but I do have some questions for water and sewer. Now the wastewater treatment plant, the expenses for this, does that fall under sewer or water in the budget?
Sewer
Sewer 6. Yeah.
Sewer 6, okay. I just want to keep things straight from sewer to water. Okay, so now we're currently paying Schenectady County for sewage disposal. It's almost $700,000. Is this going to be ending now that the plant is operating?
No, so we have two sewer districts in town, sewer district 1,
Okay,
and sewer district 6.
okay,
6 is everything that flows to the town wastewater plant. So just by the way that the sewers are constructed, everything basically on the east side of Balltown Road flows to our plant. Everything to the west side, for the most part, flows to the city of Schenectady. So most of the older sections of town, before the town had our own treatment plant that was built in the 1960s, flows to the city. And we pay the city of Schenectady for their treatment of that sewage that goes there. So that's what
so it's
sewer
like
district 1.
$700,000 a year. Okay. Now, I also saw when I was like looking through the budgets and I went back like 4 years, seems like there's an increase in equipment repairs in the last 4 years, like a 500% increase in equipment repairs. What's that? Was that the wastewater plant or?
It's a combination of work at the wastewater plant. We've also done some work on our sewer pump stations, bring them up to more modern.
Okay,
equipment.
so it's not a bond, like this is just coming out of the operating budget?
So it came out of the operating budget, and we also did use some of our repair reserve that was specifically set aside for repairs.
Okay, okay. Okay, so is that system up and running now?
My system, there's many different components, but the most, I'm assuming you're probably referring to the gas scrubber.
Well, I was hearing that we were taking sewer from there and trucking it out. So I'm just wondering, is it processing our
No.
sewer?
Not trucking
Okay.
sewer out.
No? Okay.
No, we
Well,
truck
that's good to
sludge,
know.
we truck
Sludge?
sludge. which
Okay,
is-
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, this is new terminology for me.
Yeah, so at the end of the treatment process, the residual organic material that can't be broken down gets trucked away to the landfill.
So even if the like system was operating at full capacity, we'd still need to do that?
Yeah,
We've always
that's
done
always
that.
on that.
That's what,
Okay,
standard.
We
okay,
used to truck it to Rochester,
okay,
so we've been lucky that Albany accepts it now.
okay. Now, I think I'm gonna go into the water now. Now, the meters that were purchased, it was $1 million line item. Is this a one and done?
When were they purchased? What do you?
Well,
we
it was,
purchased this
it
one,
was, it was $1 million and it was for water meters. Is those the smart meters?
We purchased meters.
Or was it last
15
year?
Years ago. And
Okay,
we are buying meters to replace those over a 3-year period.
Okay, so is it cost like $1 million for the replacement or the upgrading?
Over the course of the,
Like
3
several
years,
years? So it's $1 million over 3 years, and are they leased or we're actually purchasing them?
we're purchasing them.
Okay,
We had an agreement with, meter manufacturer because of issues that we had when we did our original rollout 15 years ago.
okay,
They granted us reduced pricing on certain, register heads of replacements for the electronic components for them.
Yeah.
So we're basically buying them at half price.
okay.
So the reason why we want to buy them over the next 3 years is because of
You're
that,
getting a discount.
that discount ends after, in 2 more years.
Okay,
So we began to replace the oldest ones last year, and we're doing more this year, and then we'll buy the remainder, next year.
The average life of a water meter is
That was my
15 to
next-
20.
15 to 20
15 to
years.
20 years.
Okay,
Yeah, average life, replace them all about every 50 years.
So we may be replacing some a little bit ahead of schedule, but we want to take advantage of the half price. You get, rather than pay full price.
now did we ever do like a cost versus benefit analysis before we made that major purchase and decided to go that route and have those upgraded? Like, are we seeing a benefit other than having a functioning water?
Without the meters,
Yeah,
we would have people, the old meters we used to have before we changed them.
we're leaky.
No, well, you had to fill out a card and mail it into the town.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that was just basically like an upgrade of technology. Okay, okay. And then just, these might be for the Reftelis, and I don't even know if they're gonna be addressing these, so I'm just gonna shoot these out. You don't even need to address them unless you want to. It just seems like the heaviest liabilities are coming from the water department and the accounts payable. And I just don't know why. I was looking at one of the budgets, and then there was an increase over 4 years of 81% in the well development, 20% increase in water maintenance crew. And then it says here 790% approximate increase in equipment expense in the last 4 years in the water department. So, I'm just thinking, is that based on the increase in something that we bonded?
What was the last one you said? I'm sorry.
Equipment expense in the water department's budget. I went from 4 years ago and then looking at what was it wasn't the actual budget, it was the budget that they were proposing for 2025, and it shows a huge increase. So I'm just wondering, was like a bond incorporated in that line item? Because it just seems equipment expensive. It just was really high.
Yeah,
I can talk to you after okay. And then I'm just hoping that Reftelis was able to determine some key metrics, and that's the annual water cost, system of costs. And are you separating, or are they separating non-revenue water? And can we determine like what is the non-revenue water loss from parks, this building, water parks, just so the town folks can understand how much we're paying of the revenue water. And then it's supposed to be broken down into cost per 1,000 gallons billed. And this is me just doing research because I'm a novice at this. And then are they focused anyway on eliminating the need and also cost reducing ideas? So, like, how can we reduce the non-revenue water losses? And is there something that is like a preventative maintenance program? I see in the agenda where you have some GPS software. I'm really interested to see like what that does. Just to see, because it just seems like we have a lot of water main breaks and it's costing us a lot of money. So I just want to know if there's like a preventative maintenance kind of program, because honestly, the town folk, and me included, we're looking at ways to reduce our costs, and it doesn't seem like we're seeing it anywhere. And if we're paying $30,000, I would like to see that this company is also incorporating that into what they're doing for us, because that's what's important, at least to me.
replacing those mains that keep breaking, so we keep paying to repair them instead of paying to replace them, which is what we should do.
Yeah, I just, what I just don't understand is, how come all of a sudden the water bills shot up so high? Okay, I don't know if it's really the taxpayers using more water. That's what I want to know, is like, where's it coming from? And is it the non-revenue component? And that's what we need to look at and focus on, and maybe look towards reducing that. Because we need relief, guys. That's all. And I think that's good. I think that's enough. I have a lot of questions, and if I don't get to ask them, I can just have a sheet and I can just slip it in the box. But that's it from me, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. We will, move into attorney items. Everybody know the other thing?
I just have one item for that, the trustees agreement for Aspen Place. It's been on the agenda in the past, but Karen was saying that we now have all the information necessary to get that moving along. Engineering, we've been talking over the last few months here about asset management software, and what a nice presentation from Lumen the other day. We had seen it before, but we had other people within the town sit through a demo and a pretty good information session. And I know Dan spoke with them today. Do you have an update as far as pricing that they're proposing?
Yeah, pricing, we did receive a quote from them. It was $30,000 approximately. And that includes an upfront cost of $12,000 to get all of our data worked into the system and all the forms and processes made out, and then an annual cost of about $18,000.
Did that incorporate the other departments or just water?
That's just I believe 20 licenses.
20 full licenses
Full
and
licenses
10
and then
light, which could be used by people here at town hall for more,
Checking in
Checking
and
and check,
not necessarily control.
and some light reporting. You want to explain what the software does for people? that aren't
So
part of it?
the software, asset management software is a way of being able to track both long-term assets, big equipment, vehicles, maintenance and renewal costs, life cycle cost analysis, to be able to help us with budgeting and knowing, the annual maintenance that we are doing on the equipment, as well as the the age of the equipment and when they need to be replaced, and for long-term budgeting.
So will you get it like a depreciation number? So it could be like tied into,
Yeah, absolutely.
The
Yeah,
financials?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would also include the infrastructure as well. So the water system, the sanitary sewer, pump stations and collection system, the wastewater plant and the water plant. So all the equipment there, all the costs that you were saying, you mentioned that there was more cost for repairs. It will track all of that, so we can give very detailed information and see where we're spending our money, then more efficiently use the funds, and to do more proactive maintenance to avoid more costs in the future.
Water main breaks specifically, we'll be able to track the effort, how many guys it's taking, how long it's going to take, essentially the cost that it takes us to be able to do these water main breaks. And when we got 70, plus a year or so to get an actual cost of that versus, okay, well, how much water main are we replacing each year to be able to, Mohawk Road, we had a big project a couple of years ago. We haven't had any water breaks on Mohawk since that. And so a matter of being able to get water main replaced and at the same time be maintaining the system as well.
does it pull any labor costs?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, an
Track
easy
the-
way on a management level to be able to see what it costs to be able to use these utilities.
The tax some of this now, but it's on paper, so it's pretty difficult to.
Well,
get.
yeah, that's why it is. Yeah, I just think that it's gonna improve a lot of things. So we can capture, accurate data. It's always data entry anyway.
Yeah, flushing fire hydrants, when we flush fire hydrants, we have to stack paper this high.
Yeah,
And we know how long we ran a fire hydrant, and, if there's any issues, any maintenance. We have, an insurance claim, say, car hits a fire hydrant, all that stuff will be tracked,
mhm.
and then we can, know when the maintenance was done. We can know all the age, with the equipment, we can schedule all the PM, that we have to do. So it's a big switch. We're collecting a lot of this information, but it doesn't do anything for us. It sits in the file cabinet, and I wanna try to modernize and be more effective.
Now, is the component of a cost of benefit analysis in this cost? Like, are they like looking at like how we're doing things now in comparison to like what it's gonna look like afterwards, so we can see if we're gonna be saving money or if we need so much labor?
Well, I mean,
They provide, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
So the cost is 30,000 upfront and then 12,000.
and then 18,000 annually,
You know how long that's, you know how long that 18,000 is good for? That's,
an annual cost.
but 3 years from now, is that gonna increase?
I asked him, he said over the past 4 years, it hasn't increased, but I would,
it
You know,
usually does.
I would assume some escalation.
That's not locked in, certain time. It's-
You said it was roadmap for the next 2 years of that place at least. So,
I think ultimately the goal would be to have other county funds utilize it as
The
well.
entire.
Yeah.
So this is expandable, on a per license basis. Right now, we're looking at 20 to start out. So water and sewer crews, plants, about 20 licenses is what we'd be looking at up front. They're about $900 a year per license. And so, for other departments, at that same rate, just expand as needed.
And we can share licenses for where it makes sense for people that work together and approve.
Yeah, we've got, Highway's got the crew years, it doesn't need to be everybody in the department, just be what's running.
That would be a dream for their maintenance schedules. I can't even imagine like in highways.
Do you know of any other municipalities that are using this exact system?
Lumen, there was a couple that they mentioned on their website. I don't know any that are near this area.
There's several they're based in Massachusetts, so they have quite a few in Massachusetts. They have.
Springfield.
But they have
Springfield,
some in
yes.
California, they have some there, and it's across the board between like colleges, municipalities, and all different types of
Yeah,
businesses.
I'm just thinking Massachusetts has very similar,
Similar
like,
weather.
weather.
Yes,
And
yes,
maybe we could
yes.
talk to them and see
Absolutely.
if there's any weaknesses in the system and, what problems they're having.
We looked through, asset management softwares in general. We probably looked at over 20 different softwares into this. We looked at about the top 4 or 5 that were more applicable to public works.
Yeah, well, that's.
And of those, kind of thought that Lumen had the best, price for what we get, the most utility for how we'd use it,
Yeah.
and would work out the best for our needs.
So this would be something we would be looking to budget if everybody is in agreement when we go through the final, make the final decision would be budgeted for next year.
Some questions about that. That they won't be charging us. I'm thinking about infrastructure, if they're gonna be valuing it. How are we getting that value? Like, how are you assessing the value of infrastructure under the ground? Yeah, so I.
Yeah, I
would
mean,
like to talk with them.
it's
The
data,
sales guy was
data
very-
that we're gonna have to provide.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to provide the data. They'll set it up in the system and the software and everything. They pretty much said, okay, for 6 months, you got us to do whatever you guys need to get it the way you like it. Get all the bugs worked out, 6 months, you got us. And so there's a lot of stuff that we can do ahead of time, even before that calendar starts, to say, 6 months starts. Here's all the forms that we need digitized, do a workflow progression. all the assets.
A better. The assets.
Yes.
issue.
Yep.
So that will help that too.
One big component of this software is it has digital mapping abilities. So for our crews, they can have a tablet. They've got a couple tablets already, mapping of all of our hydrants, valves, everything that's out in the field to be able to, click in, doing a hydrant flushing program. The supervisors can watch in almost real time as the guys are going through the area,
Yeah.
checking it off, getting through the flushing, complaints of, dirty water complaint in this area. Oh, hey, we're flushing just down the street. Yeah. Let it run.
Yeah, so the office would be able to see where they're working and that information would be available. So,
We have all of our maps are done digitally. We have them all done right now. And so now when we've spent the last couple of years getting them to the point where they're at, where they're very accurate. Valves, hydrants, manholes, everything. We've been getting GPS. And so now we're looking at implementing that data, getting it where our guys can actually use it out. And so, moving on to the ArcGIS Pro.
yes, yeah, that would be, it would work in conjunction with the asset management software. Currently, our GIS system that we have, or our GIS system, we just use single-use licenses within the town. And so only one person can have a file open at any given time. And you end up getting versioning issues and while it may work for an office with 3 people in it, but when you have field crews out accessing this data, it becomes a nightmare. And we lost quite a bit of information 15 years ago when we started initially trying to do something like this because everyone was saving the file in their own name and deleting half the elements in the map and moving things around. Having ArcGIS Pro is it's a server-based application where people can access the same data and it controls ownership and it doesn't allow people to overwrite and multiple people can make changes at the same time. If you're working on a map and someone's over on the west side of town and someone else is on the south, you can both be updating the data and not locking the other person out of that file. And it's a better way of, and in fact, that's the way that Esri, the manufacturer of ArcGIS, has gone to anyway. We're sort of just holding on to old licenses that aren't even really,
Just for economics.
yeah, it's,
Is there training?
Uh,
Staff?
I don't think there's a lot of training necessary because we're all,
We already know how to
we've
use
been
the
using
software.
ArcGIS.
Oh,
It's
okay.
more about the, working with our, working with our,
On the server.
Yeah,
and
work-
live on the cloud.
we can work with the IT department and they do want to do that. And there's 2 options. You can have it hosted in the cloud or hosted physically here at Town Hall. I think we'll work with the IT department and see what they think is the best option.
If you looked at it, save your space.
They were
We've had
talking
some
about,
preliminary
they might have
discussions
some-
with them.
And the GPS software, another cost saving thing that we've been doing, our GPS equipment that we use for mapping out in the field, we were able to carry over an old license from an old piece of equipment from 10 years ago. For the equipment that we've been using probably
That's right,
the last 5 years, they're finally stopping support for that software. So we have to go up to the newest version of the GPS software because we're losing the differential correction that you get when you're out in the field. The sites that provide you the local information to tune in.
We're gonna do the presentation downstairs. If you wanna wait, but you're more than welcome to join us for this meeting. It's just a committee meeting. You can come on in.
So this is just would allow us to maintain the accuracy of our equipment. And you have a cost for that?
I remember off the top of my head. It was $2,000.
It's an annual.
I-
Okay.
Was there a cost for the ArcGIS?
Yeah, what was the cost of that?
ArcGIS Pro
That's an annual charge as well.
That would be an annual cost.
Right, different whether it's cloud or site-based.
Yeah, I don't think we're at the moment, we're not looking for approval at this point. We're just, we're for discussion. When we bring it back, maybe for approval, we'll have the exact cost. The GPS software, though, I think is something we should move on, just because we don't want to lose availability of our GPS software, which we're out mapping every day. Cameras out with the, well, we just lost our intern, but we're back to school, but cameras out every day doing mapping. And if you're going
We can't
to,
take advantage of
Yeah.
that data yet. It's just sitting there.
it's sitting there until you get the differential correction, which takes it from accuracy of 5 feet down to feet centimeters. So it's,
It's in but it, we're thinking of purchasing for.
it would be, but there's our purchasing policy requires anything software related to go through finance. So
Should we put that on for? Are you looking
I
at?
don't think it requires resolution, it's just finance.
Agenda for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tuesday.
Software.
GPS, yeah. Water sewer maintenance. We have 2 open positions that we're constantly looking for applicants. If we get good applicants like that apply, we'll perform interviews and provide a name, but at this point, I don't have anyone, so I just left it as a tentative resolution. The next resolution is to appoint water and sewer maintenance workers. Dylan Unser and Tyler Rogers, both are maintenance workers for the water and sewer department. They worked for the town for over a year. They met all the requirements to move up to the water and sewer maintenance position. I'd like to propose moving them. Dylan Unser and Tyler Rogers. They've had their 1 year experience, they've gotten their CDL, so they're ready to move up, and having them as a water and sewer maintenance worker makes it more beneficial to the town as well, because they're available to volunteer to be on call, and which makes it for a better crew all around.
Does that get them back to this first level or do they keep going in levels? Like if they,
So they move wherever they are on the pay scale, they
They
move
move
down to the next
Okay.
title and wherever they fit in. So they may not go to the first one because we never go backwards. Because if,
in like the, what they're being.
okay, yeah, but they're not gonna go way up to the top. They'll just go slide down to where. Good. It's utility billing. Chris has a reconciliation ready to go. I'll check the numbers again. I thought it was gonna be ready last month, but I didn't have a chance to check the numbers, so Deb and I will look at the reconciliation, make sure it's ready for the board. And then same for the second quarter corporate utility warrant. So that we can send out the second quarter utility bills. We'll have that ready for the town board meeting. Just an update for the water and sewer rate study. Okay, so we are having an informational meeting at 5:30 downstairs. And everyone here is welcome to join us. Wastewater treatment plant. There's an update on the organic waste program. We're still taking typically 12 trucks a week of weigh. One thing that has been offline for a while and we're looking forward to getting it back and running is the hydrogen sulfide scrubber, which is proposed. I think they're doing here Tuesday, Monday now. They moved it good Monday. Company will come in and remove the old media, put the new media in, and that will allow us to beneficially reuse the methane from the digesters.
Is that a 1 day?
It should be 1 day, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they came in quite cheap, actually, compared to what we thought we were gonna pay.
That was part of the repair reserve.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, we had 2 quotes for it, and then one was almost
Out of 10,000.
yeah, 5,000. Yeah.
That resolution also covers.
I didn't even need a resolution because of the dollar amount was so low, so compared to what we thought it was gonna be. Next item is a sludge dryer repair. It's been on resolution, up for resolution a couple of times. We have all the documentation that we need to do it. And if there is a chance that there is a special meeting this month, I don't know if there is or not. if it happens to be a special meeting, I ask to have it on there on the agenda, just so we can get that going. Everybody's ready to move on that. If not, at the end of the month, it would be a resolution for two contracts, one to AIP and one to Pollard Excavating. Both with multiple quotes and then a sole source letter for the work. That would bring the dryer up and back up 100% and reduce our hauling that we have to do through the sludge to the landfill.
You can ask Elena.
Okay. The next two items, appointing and maintenance, a plant mechanic and a plant operator trainee. These are positions both at the sewer plant. We're actively interviewing, more interviews next week. These are tough positions to fill just because of the unique skill set that we're looking for. Hopefully we'll have names for the town board and move forward, but currently we're two people down at the plant. Wants to be a sewer plant mechanic or a operator trainee. Have them go on the website and fill out an application. Next item is a slide gate installation at the wastewater plant. This is just over $8,000, so it does require a resolution. So I'll have that information for Dana. Water treatment plant and water pump stations, update on the corrosion control study. It's ongoing. We had a meeting last week to check this progress. We're happy with the progress so far, and we'll be able to pull the coupons, I think, after 6 weeks for the first sample, and then we'll wait for the completion of the study to get the second set of coupons and perform the tests that we need to do on it. We're doing the control the corrosion study because of concerns of properties near the plant. We're seeing corrosion rates that are higher than we would expect, and tests are showing in some of the houses we do have copper levels that are higher than the action level. We're working with the Department of Health to try to get some guidance on how to handle the situation. I've had two long conversations with the state health department. We had one yesterday, and I have been promised some guidance information. We suggested some additional testing, and the state is happy with that. They were going to provide us with some of the information that they want collected. I don't have anything in writing yet, and that's what I'm waiting for. That was a rather long phone call, and I think we're making progress. I just want to see it in writing from the state so that we can tell the residents what we want to be able to tell people what the town is required to do and wants to do to alleviate the situation. The long-term plan is to adjust our most likely the pH at our plant from by adding most likely caustic soda to the water to increase pH to be more consistent with what we're getting from the city of Schenectady. We do blend our water, and we want the state to provide us guidance along the way because ultimately we have to report to them, and they're the ones that oversee us. So I'm hoping to get that information from them in the near future and share with the residents because they've been patient, and I don't want to make this any more difficult for everybody than it has to be.
Yeah, and I'm having my water tested. I should have the results tomorrow or early next week. And if I come back high, I'll be sending out an email to all my neighbors because we're very close to the water treatment plant.
So when you have those high levels of that, it's saying it's unbelievable. The residents have to furnish their own water there.
That's what we're trying to get the state to tell us.
Okay.
That's what I want to hear from the
Okay.
state to tell us what we need to do.
Okay,
And that's initially the response the state gave us was the town is not in violation. There's nothing you need to do at this time. I wasn't happy with that answer.
thank you.
I want a real
Being
answer.
happy with it.
Jason, you skipped me when
No, so I am, as long as other people are speaking, I'm gonna speak.
Yeah.
Matt, thank you very, very much for what you just said.
Mhm.
At my house, we have had unbreakable water. I wish Erin was still here because I reached out to her and her response to me was she wanted absolutely no correspondence on the issue. None. As many people know, that's my brother-in-law. Right off the bat was told he couldn't do anything because of our relationship. What does a water quality issue have to do with whether or not I'm related to Matt? Why should anyone be put in that situation? I'm disappointed she's not here to hear that. But that needs, I appreciate the honesty and the transparency, man. Thank you.
If there are more people, then, you know, it's gonna be a bigger issue.
So hopefully the state, they didn't give you
To
any.
be honest, Jason, I reached out to you too, and you turned a blind eye to me as well. And everybody said, just deal with Bill. And I mean, it just wasn't fair. It shouldn't have been handled that way, you know? Nobody wants to be told you don't have drinkable water and to have the town respond, we will do nothing for you.
Water District 3 pump station control valve replacement. On as a tentative resolution, purchase replacement valves for the Water 3 pump station. I have one quote, but I need a second quote. It may or may not rise above the level that requires a resolution or just finance committee,
Okay.
but I don't want to say that how much the quote is for until I get a second quote. So tip the hat to the person who would be providing a secondary quote. I'm not supposed to share that information. Filter building door replacement, have it as a tentative resolution. We are still waiting for a second quote. It's difficult to get contractors to provide quotes. We badger them and it's, I don't know why, if people are just busy or they just don't want to do
Like
municipal
that for
work.
everything.
Yeah.
Do you use contract? Or is it too little of?
It's a pretty small job, and that's what you're finding. It's a very,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it's buying the 2 double doors and putting them in a concrete block building because of our purchasing policy requires multiple quotes.
Yep.
But replant paving repair, this was mentioned last month, but it didn't make it to the town board meeting. We had multiple quotes for the paving repair at the water plant. The low quote was for $14,800. $14,800. It would be Russell, yeah. We couldn't use the paving contractors that bid the job because they didn't want to do the work. When they saw what the work was, because it
Right,
must not have been big enough for them.
right.
So they didn't want to honor their big price, so we had to go out separately. The next item is just the transfer station, the old transfer station. Was able to get a price from a contractor to come in and remove the portion of the old concrete wall that's there and grade the site. Remove the fencing, haul away the fencing. To not fully clean up the site, but to make it less of
Safe,
an,
right?
yeah, more safe and less of an eyesore until the town decides what their ultimate plan is for the site. The price to do that work is $6,950. So that does not require finance nor town board, but it does require town supervisor, town, and department head. So I just put it on there just because we thought it was gonna have to be,
Right,
it was gonna be more, but I worked with the contractor to get the price down. Ray's going to provide fill material from the back to grade that off, so it's a more of a gradual slope, not a steep drop off. Could be a nice park location. But I just want to make sure that it's not dangerous or an eyesore at this point. The next item is just the next meeting. I have it as October 2nd, unless it's, oh,
It wasn't talked about the schedule, it's the holiday.
okay, whatever
Which one? I would be fine with the day. Well, I should do it. Sure.
Oh, amazing.
I don't. keep it.
When is finances?
Finance, okay, 14.
We can do the next,
Thursday.
yeah, the following Thursday.
So everybody, Thursday. Right, so Thursday, October 9th. It's at 4:30 about the. And does anybody have anything else?
Just one question, the coupon that says it's 120 days, you said you're about to remove the first,
No, we're about 6 weeks, we can do the first one.
it's only been 6 weeks
We're,
for the
we're,
first.
we've been able to shorten the length a little bit. We're working with, Finwire, he was able to break it up a little bit, so we can get answers faster.
Okay.
And then,
So you, at this point, it's been 6 weeks.
no, it's not that. We, the initial period, had to condition we've been running it, but we just started adding the, caustic soda to the side that we're adjusting the pH this week, because you run it, to get both sides of you have plant water, and then you have the treated water, the modified water, and you test both. You have coupons in both. So, you add, caustic soda to adjust pH in the one side, and then, keep the other one at just plant water. But both of those have to run with plant water to get the orthopolyphosphate to basically condition the coupon so that they accurately represent the
So
existing.
when did that start? Not doing 120 days.
I think we get next in 6 weeks, just under 6 weeks, we can pull up the first samples. And actually,
That's. What was it after 20 days, is it?
because that's what typically is done for phosphate testing, but we're testing pH now. Because we think we can get results faster, we want to get the results faster so we can move towards planning a solution. And I think on the call yesterday, DOH was interested in the results.
Yeah.
At 6 weeks, yeah.
So 6 weeks from now, I'm sorry, I'm still.
6
trying to-
weeks from, yeah, pretty much.
Was it last week?
Last week, yeah.
Last week.
So we're gonna have the engineers start, a preliminary report at 6 weeks. And then do a follow-up and finish the final test results. But we'll have a good idea of where we're heading at 6 weeks. We think that's gonna be a good indicator if we're getting improved performance or not. And we're currently we've adjusted the water in the test site up to 7.4 to 7.5. We're consistently at 6.8 for pH.
You feel like what you're doing is better than the phosphates.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why when we worked with the consultant engineer and the chemist, come up with what was the best solution.
Yeah, the information that we get is accurate though, after 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 points.
Yes. Because we've allowed the phosphate to coat so that it's acting as if it's the existing system, then we begin to modify the pH, and then you see how.
Studies and years, obviously. A lot, the time you're doing is a lot less, but they must somehow, we must able to, evaluate it based on the fact that it's a shorter amount of time and.
Yeah, so they know the corrosion rate, so they can get a rate, how much it corroded over a set amount of time. So they measure the weight before and after, and that's how they determine how much was corroded away. And one thing we're gonna also do too is we're gonna basically recreate the first straw situation. So did we just add it once a week? Is it once a week? Yeah, once a week. Once we're a couple weeks into it, we're gonna turn the water, because right now it's running 5 gallons a minute constantly on both sides. So we're running 5 gallons a minute across the coupons, and so that it's treated as if it were out in the system. We're gonna turn the water off.
The coupons in various locations, where,
They're in a test assembly at the water plant.
so how, the copper lines play a role if it's not in the copper.
The coupons are the copper,
Okay.
so that they're made of copper, so that that's how we know how much is being eroded. So what we're gonna also do is turn off the flow and leave it stagnant overnight, once a week. And then take copper samples soon, so we can, that would
To simulate like
You simulate
overnight when they're
overnight.
not using any water, water sits in your pipes. And then you take a sample right at the beginning, you call that the first draw sample.
that's where all copper samples are done, whenever we report copper to the state or to the county DOH, you do a first draw, because that's your worst case scenario.
Brett's, testing the pH round the clock now at our house. And interestingly, like, that's what Culligan said, do first thing in the morning. But we're finding that the pH is just all over the place. So we're not necessarily getting our worst reading in the morning, pH wise, which should then, respond to the copper level as well, right? If you got a low pH, it seems to be, the pH seems to be fluctuating quite a bit.
One of the things that the state health department suggested, and I asked for more testing. They want us to potentially go back into the houses we've already tested and do more testing as well. We're just waiting to see what they want us to test for and how often. They've even offered to have state representatives be there as well. But I don't really want to get too far into it until I get it in right. Because
That's
it was,
reasonable. I think it changed.
I just want to, and if it's not what we want, I'm prepared with that. Because I feel that we report to them, they should be giving us some guidance. They're the experts, so that's what we're trying to utilize their knowledge. Because, we just want to make it best for everybody, so best we can. Go ahead.
Thank you, Matt. I know I'm not supposed to ask questions, so I think.
Pretty laid back.
Yeah.
Are we still on?
We have one more,
Okay.
but I should have looked in my folder to purchase those. So the amount,
Oh, yes, these are the water meters.
yeah,
So we
so
budget,
it just needs finance, right?
so we budget, we have a budget line for water meters. And this is, we buy meters throughout the year. This happens to be a large grouping of them. Does it cumulative matter, or if it's budgeted? in the
I would
budget line,
do it.
just do it anyway? Okay. So, $7,200 for finance. That would be finance, because I can only do $60,000.
I'd rather.
Hmm.
Safe with that.
But that could be just finance.
Finance.
Yes, just finance.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can-
All yours.
Okay.
All right, with that, our next meeting is October 9th, 4:30, and I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion, is there a second? Second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Right? Thank you. Adjourn. Thank you. Thank you. Street.